Hi. Hi, girl. Hey everyone, I'm Anna and this is the R5 Leather Workshop. Today we're going to talk about 3 machines that I am looking to buy in the future for my Leathercraft shop, and I want to talk about them so that maybe you at home can decide if these are machines that maybe you might want to invest in at some point, and if there's something that is worthwhile having in your own shop. So with that, let's get started. There's 3 machines on this list, and they're in order of the desire in which I personally want the machines. The third one is my least likely to get, down to number 1, which is the one I would probably get first and I'm the most excited to get in the future. So with that, number 3 is a burnisher / sander. These machines tend to always come with both parts together. They're always both sanding on one side and burnishing on the other. The advantage of this machine is that you can sand and burnish much more quickly and much more uniformly. There are a couple of them out on the market. I've seen some on Amazon, which I'm not personally super excited about. I have a feeling the motors are somewhat weak and probably won't handle things real well. Buckle Guy actually has one now that is a reasonable price. I do know that the motor can get bogged down if you push into the sanding or the burnishing part really hard with the leather against the motor. It'll kind of like get bogged down. But the price is really good, and after doing things by hand, I feel like Buckle Guy would be a really good one for me to buy in the future, or anyone really. They do tend to be really good at finding kind of that middle ground in their quality of when it comes to their machines and stuff, because they tend to find this, like, it's a good price, but also a good machine. So you're not overpaying for it, but it's not going to be as bad as, say, the one that you might find on Amazon. So as far as like purchasing this one for myself and why I haven't bought this one, there's several reasons. One, this workshop up here is a spare bedroom in my house, and when you have the burnisher sander machine, especially for the sanding side of it, you need to have some sort of vacuum system to suck down and pull the sand out, or the dust from the sander. You need some way to deal with that, or it's going to just fluff all over your space. This space I'm in is not really that big, so for me personally, I just don't want to have to deal with cleaning up the sanding mess or put in a vacuum system that would allow me to kind of suction that out all the time. And so that's part of the reason it's pretty low on my list. By hand, it hasn't been that big of a deal for me. Part of it is also the price, because although the price for the Buckle Guy brand one is not terrible, the price for the Weaver Leather Supply one, which is like super heavy duty, really well rated, I mean, it's probably like the ultimate one to get. It is very expensive, and so it's really low on my list. And so there is a small part of me that goes, once, or if I ever have the space for like a very dedicated workshop, I probably would spring for the Weaver one, if I'm being honest. So that's the other side of the whole thing, is that I don't know that it's worth getting it. It's not worth getting it in my current space, that's for sure. But down the road it would be. So those are things you would have to think about for yourself if you wanted to get one of these. You know, do you have the space? Are you willing to either clean up the dust from the sander all the time, or figure out a way to have it on a sort of vacuum system that's going to suck it out as it goes? And you know, is that worthwhile in the space you're in? Like I said, I'm in a spare bedroom. I don't want to have to be dealing with that constantly. So that is the burnisher sanders. Number 2 is a skiving machine. Now these are so neat. There are so many of them out there. I want an electric one. They do have some hand ones, but I figure if I'm going to buy a machine, even the hand ones are not super cheap. I'm going to just spring the money for the electric one here. Again, Weaver is probably one of the ones that I've seen the most that people have. Weaver's machines are really quite good. I think they have a really wide range of machines that are known to be very heavy duty, really hold up well over time. So you really can't go wrong with their machines, I feel like. So that's kind of why I would be leaning towards a Weaver Leather Supply skiving machine. But again, they're very expensive. And I just don't do enough skiving. The reasons for potentially getting this one would be one, for some reason I had the money. Two, if I was doing a lot of production. I feel like if I was making hundreds of bags a month and selling them, you know, and I had the production level where it was very, very worthwhile to be skiving constantly, it would be such a time saver and I'd probably make my money back really fast. But I feel like I don't do a lot of wallets, and most of my bags, either the skiving, even if it's a little uneven and not perfect, it's basically not noticeable on the inside of a bag. So it's part of the reason why I just do it by hand right now. And again, it's a money thing. I think the big thing for me would be production. If I suddenly had the production to warrant it, then I would get one. I don't know if even I don't really know even if I had the money if I would get one, if I'm being completely honest. And a lot of that is because of my number one. So my number one is a super heavy duty cylinder arm sewing machine. So as many of you know, I have this machine back here. Sorry, the lighting's a little goofy in here right now, but I have this one back here. The one behind me is meant for Leathercraft, and it is industrial, and it does a lot of what I need. And for the price point, that one was perfect when I bought it almost 3 years ago now. But if I really had the choice, I would get either the Cobra brand cylinder arm or a Texo cylinder arm machine that can sew up to 7/8 of an inch, which is so ridiculous to me. Like, I'll probably never, ever, ever need 7/8 of an inch stitching capacity, but I just love that it could do it. These machines are basically, in many cases, meant to be used for saddle work, so they're super heavy duty. And I would really love to have one. They're very pricey. They run about $3,000. So it's not like I don't have that money lying around. And again, some of it's a production thing, is that I just don't have the production to warrant spending that money right now. That being said, I have been saving money that has been coming in from the business side of stuff to get a machine down the road. I think at some point, regardless of my production value or my production of what I'm making and what I'm selling, I will get one. Like, it's definitely very high on my list. I don't care how much I'm making. I would just love to have one. The other thing I'd like to talk about a little bit with the sewing machine is why I feel like I should get one, even though I have one back here that works pretty well. So there's a few reasons why I think the Cobra or the Texo or any cylinder arm machine in general, any of those industrial Leathercraft machines, are worth getting and why they're valuable, especially a cylinder arm. Cylinder arm to me is the key point. I really want a cylinder arm. So the first thing is, if you take a look the best you can at my machine behind me, it's on a bed here. It's a flat bed. So I can only do flat stitches. I can't curve the bags around it at all and do odd shapes and odd maneuvering with it at all. And that's definitely a downside of this particular machine. I do think, again, this is a great machine to start with. It's a very reasonable price, I think, for what it is. But that's one of the reasons why I really want one of these industrial cylinder arm ones. The other reason is I do really like the stitch length, or not the stitch length, but the thickness, is that you can do 7/8 of an inch. I mean, it's almost an inch. You're 1/8 of an inch away. I probably would never ever stitch anything that thick. I just like that it can do that, which means I can kind of, you know, be kind of rough with the machine and it'll come through and things will come out well and be, you know, I know I'm not going to bust a needle. So I know it's meant to handle a heavier thickness. The other reason, and for reference, this machine back here only does 1/4 inch, which serves most of my needs. It's really rare I'm ever stitching anything more than that, but it's just something that would be nice to know. I don't have to worry about my stitch or my leather thickness as I'm stitching. The last thing, and this is probably one of the, minus the cylinder arm, the flatbed thing is probably one of the most annoying things about this particular machine, is that I can't maneuver in different shapes. The other thing is also the thread thickness that this machine will allow. So this particular machine will only use what's called a Tex 92 thickness. And the problem with that is it's not a very thick thread. And when I hand stitch, I really like the look of a thicker thread. So this machine is pretty thin. The Cobras and the Texos will do really pretty thick threads, up into the Tex 200s. I can't remember the exact thickness, but that thicker thread allows for that look that I personally like. I also just feel like the thicker threads are sturdier. That might just be in my head, but that's just something else. The other reason why I personally really, really love the idea of these big industrial machines. I feel like I can't go wrong with them. The other big reason why I like having a machine, and why part of the reason I bought the one behind me in the first place, was I do have some shoulder issues, and even a year into doing Leathercraft, before I bought that machine, when I was hammering a lot and doing a lot of stitching, when you're doing a lot of stitching, you're kind of stitching in and out, so you're using your arm like this. And the hammering, obviously, you're pounding like that. And I already had some shoulder issues and things that bother my shoulder and aggravate it. And when I got this machine, it helped a lot. Although I do a lot of hand stitching still, it definitely took some of that stress off my arm. So a machine that allows me to pretty much almost never have to hand sew would be nice. Even though I love the look of hand sewing and I think it's beautiful, at some point I can't put that much stress on my arm forever. So that's the other reason I'd like to do that. Anyway, those are the 3 machines that I would love to get in the future, and a little bit about them and why they might be perfect for you at some point in your own Leathercraft journey, and why you might personally find them valuable. So I hope you found that interesting. If there's any other machines you'd be interested in me going over and their pros and cons, leave a message down below, and I would love to create another video about machines and equipment that are useful in the Leathercraft space. Anyway, hope you have a great day. I'll see you in the next one.